Hey guys, so I haven't done much with this thing this week. Between the lawn tractor and the fertilizer spreader seizing up and having to have to be chiseled apart, I haven't done a hell of a lot with this thing. I cut my patch roughly to shape, so what I'm going to do is, and it's roughly to form as well, so I'm going to hold it behind the opening with some magnets, and I'm going to scribe the profile onto here, and I'll do the sides first. I'm down to probably about here, get that fitting well, then I'll do the rest of the form here. Like this edge and this edge are roughly square, as is the hole. So that's actually just the way the metal was. And I just bent the curve by just, you can actually see the steps in it by putting it in the sheet metal bender and just bending it at a couple strategic locations. And I got it roughly to the curve shape there. I did actually loosen the hold down for it, so it would put a little bit more of a curve in it. But it's pretty obvious. Doesn't matter to me, anyways. So the objective today is to get this welded in, fully welded in and cleaned up, and then I will rust kill this thing. I didn't want to rust kill this stuff before I welded because I have no idea what that rust converter, what kind of chemicals are in it, so I have no idea how it would react to being welded, so I wanted to avoid welding it. Anyway, so yeah, if you actually know an answer to that, then let me know. I must admit, there isn't a place on this car, at least the front of this car, that I'm looking that I don't see, some kind of rust. It's actually quite bad. At some point, I'm hoping I won't get discouraged here, but at some point I'm starting to wonder if I'm not going to get overwhelmed here, because this is a lot of this stuff is going to be pretty hard to fix. It's not a lot, it's what it is, there's a lot of little spots rather than one big, bunch of spots. Anyways, I won't get anywhere without, talking about it, so I'll get back to it. Right, Kat? Okay, so this is rough cut to shape, and just so you guys understand my thought process when I'm doing this, I've got a magnet there, and I've got the piece of strapping held in by magnets to kind of support that back corner, since this edge here fits okay at this point. And I know it's tempting to go and cut it all to shape at the same time, but I'm taking a very cautious approach. That way it's the least amount of work for me to hold it, or to weld it, sorry. And what I've done, you can see I might have trimmed that a little bit too close there. We'll see. It looks like it, unfortunately. So that doesn't show too well, but what I had done is, before I trimmed it this much, I'd scribed the back side, and I was following that scribe line down to here, and I guess that scribe line wasn't 100% there. I thought I was pretty careful, but that's okay. I can fill that, with backing it with a piece of copper. The rest I'll have to be much more cautious with. Now, I don't see any other places where I've cut it too close, but I haven't cut this lower edge. I was leaving that till last. So now that I've got this side, it just needs probably just a little bit of work there. But, I can probably go and just take the die grinder and clean that up a bit and knock that back. So now I'll rescribe the bottom line here, which might be a bit of a pain. I could probably put some Dicam on it just so that I can tell which is the new scribe line. And then I'll start cutting around that bottom edge and getting that fit a little better. And in case you're wondering what I'm talking about when I'm saying a scriber, this is just a machinist scriber here. Probably what happened on that edge there was I was holding it that way. And as you can see, there's a bit of a width on that tip. For the rest of it, I was holding it that way, and I was kind of trying to get underneath, and that's probably what happened there. So once again, if I would have been a little bit more cautious, it wouldn't have been a little mess up, but it shouldn't be too big a deal. Okay, so I'm going to finish scribing this, cut it out. I've been using a variety of tools to do this. This thing is very handy. It's a throatless shear that I got from Harbor Freight at one point. I've always heard them referred to as Beverly shear, but maybe that's a trade name. I'm not sure. I've also been using good quality Weiss right hand, left hand, and straight cut shears, and I don't use these for anything other than sheet metal, and only for sheet metal. That's the the right thickness sort of thing. Anyways, just to give you some idea what I'm using to do this. Next shot, that thing should be fitted. Okay, so I've cut it shape, and I'm going to tack this guy in and then weld it as take my time welding it. That is. I got to shine up metal around it first. I've already cleaned up the backside, but we're good there. Not the best fit up that I could have achieved without a doubt, but I should be able to move it down a bit this way to close up that gap and open up a gap along the top, so it shouldn't be too big a deal. Anyways, so let's get this thing welded in. Okay, so I've got it mostly tacked in. I want to put one more tack in here. I had a pretty big gap along here, but I actually managed to close it up by, well, I'll show you what I did. I went and I took a piece of copper bar, or copper pipe actually, pounded it flat, and I got a bungee pulling it towards the top so that it pulls those two pieces of metal tightly together, and acts like a backer for me where I'm welding. That seems to be working fairly well for me. Now, it's not too bad. Some fair gaps around the front, but nothing horrendous. So, and if you're wondering how I'm going to deal with that, I'm going to leave those two welds there, but I'll fully weld everything else, and then I'll see if I can hammer and dolly that to stretch it a bit to meet up with that, and then it won't look too weird. And then this patch will be done, and then it's on to the next piece, which is probably going to be the hardest part on the front of this car, is all these weather stripping channels. So badly rusted, it's pretty bad, or it's pretty disgusting. But that's the next biggest job on this front part of this thing. And then there's little ones like those rust holes there. If I can get some light on them, there's a rust hole, and all in through here. There's all sorts of fun stuff. Anyways, let's get to it and get this thing done. Okay, nearly fully welded in. I gotta grind the welds, and I gotta do this back part here, but I gotta hammer and dolly that to kind of make a matching bump on this side of it. But I gotta get my ass down to the Air Liquide dealer because I am almost out of argon. At the 250 pounds here, and it's a long weekend here, so I can't dawdle here, and it's what, 3:30, and they might close early, who knows. If they close, even if they close at 5, I might have a bit of trouble getting there in time, but I'm going to rush my ass down there and get a new bottle. I hate to give them any extra gas, but I can't really compromise here. There you go, that's much better now. Okay, well, I think I'm satisfied that this is done. You know, it's not perfect, but I think it's plenty good enough for the bottom of the tire well here. And I've done the top and bottom. Ugh. So I think we're good. And look, I didn't knock the welds down as far on the bottom side, but that's not a problem. It's going to be covered with undercoat, so it's not going to be a big deal. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching.